Yeah, you're already on it. It's just.
I'm happy with that.
Ham's filling up his cup.
Because they won't let you do it. Sam is here.
I've never put a face on
Get outside.
And we lost Dennis.
Once in a while, we're good.
There they go.
This one this way, that's just.
Oh, I just smacked him back on.
So Debbie, this work's already done, right?
I did not see that.
Yeah, it's already done.
Yeah, all right. City Top 24.
Okay, we're gonna call the meeting for the Loudon Regional Planning Commission's order. First item on the agenda is pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Debbie Hines,
Here.
Kevin Bookout.
Here.
Dennis Brennan,
Here.
Pam Carey,
Here.
Tim Dixon,
Here.
Tim Henley, Brandon DeVore,
Here.
David Mears,
Jeff Harris set it in for David Mears.
Clayton Pangle.
Here.
And Scott Wilson.
Here.
Okay. We've got old business, but I don't think there is any old business, is there? Okay. New business. Approval of minutes. I have a motion to
Make a
approve.
motion, we approve.
Okay, do I have a second to approve?
Second.
The motion is second. All in favor? All approved? All opposed? They're approved. New business. Application 193, preliminary plat review, Tennessee National Marina District Phase 2. Applicant Tyler Gross, property owner Tennessee National LLC, tax map 23, parcel 1, land development district. Tyler?
Good afternoon.
Hi there.
So this is the preliminary plat for the property we talked about the past few months here. We've got about 58 lots, averaging just under half an acre, all single-family residential. As part of this, I think it's in further plans, but as part of this, we also have utilities going in underneath the extension of the boulevard there for water and sewer. We're also adding in a road to connect to the pump station on the south side of the development there. So there's also a boat launch and trailer storage parking to the right.
No, okay. Michael?
There's the pump station. There's a lift, it's a lift station.
Lift station, yeah, sorry.
That's what he's referencing here, so roadway extension that way. This is the ramp and parking that he's talking about, and roadway and utilities extension from Corporate Park Drive into what's being called the Marina District.
Anybody have any questions?
I'm going to speak up again. I want you to make sure I had the area to the right. In other words, you got a line going through your site plan. That's what we talked about last time. To add it to your overall ability to adopt that with take it into the POA and the overall master plan. Isn't that what we approved last time? Okay. The area to the left of that line, it is not something we saw last time, but we knew that it would be coming with your site plan, which is what you're asking us to approve today. The point that I wanted noted last time was in regard to the old fly ash. You all did a study that was well worth their time to know what you could find out there. I do have the same concerns to the new part that's added for us to look at this time. And all I want to do is make sure that's still noted, that we discussed it at the Plan Commission, and that made the developer and the engineer aware of that potential. So if there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion if that note is made for our records.
We did have, with any motion that you may make, we do have some remaining comments, and that need to be addressed. I think that based on the report.
Yeah, you saw for the first time you are starting to get staff reports about all the cases that are coming in front of you. So, you saw that there are review comments that remain for this project. So we'd like the motion to also include that those comments need to be addressed before any permits are issued.
That's what you included in your notes, that final, I think there was a disconnect down at the lake that still needs to be defined more clearly, and a couple other engineering things that they've agreed to take care of.
We've received the comments, we're working through them and addressing them.
Okay.
We had talked about this last time as well. Of course, everybody's calling me that kind of live next door. That, the boat ramp, is that public?
Yes,
All right, is there gonna be a through street that goes out through the National and out, or has everybody got a cul-de-sac and come back up Corporate Park Drive to get out to 72?
no, it will connect through the development all the way out to the main entrance.
So if someone is using the boat ramp that's maybe not live in Tennessee National, they can still drive into Tennessee National and out that side, even if they don't own land in there?
Yes.
Okay, I just need that clarification.
One item of note, that is in the comments is that, staff wouldn't recommend file plating until TVA flowage easement, request is resolved. There is a flowage easement that exists on the site and extends into the roadway here. They currently have an application in, with which they're awaiting a response from TVA, and Tyler, you can speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, so I guess just to clarify that, so there is flowage easement along the riverbank there, and it comes up into a portion of 3 lots mainly, but affects 5 lots total. And so we've been working with TVA for the past 6 months and are putting in a 26A permit and other permits to do this development there. But the flowage easement, it's kind of weird, the flowage easement doesn't exactly follow the flood elevations, and which is common. But the flowage easement used to have restriction for agricultural use only. Years ago, that was abandoned, and so now there is no restriction. And so what we're expecting from TVA, in fact, we have a call tomorrow to get some answers from, we'll try to get in writing as well, is that you can fill in that flowage easement as long as there is no loss of flood storage. So if we fill in for the road, we gotta go cut some dirt out somewhere else to make sure it's a net zero impact to the flood storage. But the permit for this that we're submitting to TVA won't be approved for like a year. And that's mainly for the boat ramp and the bank stabilization and the docks.
I do have one other question, because I don't understand it. I don't understand this particular line being discontinuous and then apparently picking up right here.
That's my clip of me just putting the image into the PowerPoint.
Okay, so that doesn't mean anything. Okay, I couldn't figure out
Nope.
what engineering work
Nope,
that
that's
was.
my imaging.
Okay. Anyway, I made a motion adding these additional things.
Okay, got a motion?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next item, application 196, rezoning request from C1 Central Business District to P1 Professional and Civic District. Applicants and property owners, Bill and Sherry Watkins and 12 Holdings LLC. Tax map 41B, Group A, parcel 22. Tax map 41B, Group A, parcel 23 and 2401. Okay. Bill?
I suppose I start with the, what Ben and I, my neighbor, want to accomplish with this. With the group that we have right here in these houses, and Sherry and I will be rehabilitating 302 and 304. That's the old yellow wood structure and the small brick structure next to it. We're looking at possibly renting this, and so we would like, one of the purposes that we wanted to address with this was to have the versatility of what we can do in renting it. They don't lend themselves really to use as residential, and maybe not really as C1, although they are, of course, zoned as C1. The thing that we look at, though, is their potential as professional buildings. And with the possibility in renting or our own use of these buildings as engineering buildings, for engineering or for legal profession, for accounting profession, or for teaching classes. This was one thing that Sherry and I talked about with the wooden building, which has, with its older character, to be able to offer spinning classes, weaving classes, other things like that, that actually would be very appropriate for that, the use of that building. With the surrounding buildings, both residential on one side and commercial on the south side, it seems like a good transition for these buildings, and with the additional versatility of what we can offer these buildings as Sherry and I continue with our rehabilitation, that this would be an appropriate assignment for that. Ben and I have talked about the joining of our buildings in this regard, and is a better match for him and his wife's purpose for this building here. If you have, Ben's here if you want to ask him about that, but thought I'd just kick off the ball with that. We both joined in together to be able to do this.
Bill, I don't remember, does the brick building and the yellow building touch?
They do.
Okay.
They don't,
It's like
they-
one continuous, but they're separate.
There's about a 6 or 8 inch space between them.
Oh, okay.
There is a passageway that is constructed between the two of them. Now, it's our intent that we will close that off. Sherry likes the idea of making that into an internal bookcase.
Any comments or any questions from the board? Comments from staff?
Mr. Spencer.
When this came up, one of the obvious possible objections would be the accusation that this would be spot zoning. It's 3 parcels, but all 3 parcels are small. And so what you're talking about is creating a P1 district essentially in the midst of the C4 district. Even though it's small, I think it could withstand the accusation of being spot zoning. I don't think it is for this reason. It allows commercial uses in the midst of what is already a commercial district. One of the problems with spot zoning is that it gives special treatment or favor to one property owner at the cost of other property owners. I don't see that this is costing anybody else anything. it's not harming anybody else. It allows a mix of uses, residential and commercial, but I could stand in front of the properties in the street and throw a rock into the nearby planned small commercial district that was created intentionally to allow a mix of residential and commercial uses. And so, when I look at this in terms of the potential for it being called spot zoning, I don't think it really is. It's a small district, I'll admit that, but I don't think it's spot zoning. And when you look at the lack of activity in terms of rental and rehabilitation of buildings in this area, anything that can be done to accommodate rehabilitation of buildings and more economic activity is probably a good thing.
Anybody on the board have any questions?
I have a comment. The other thing, I think I'm correct, on the back side of your corner building, it backs up to a residential building. So what you're doing here, because it's a one-story thing, in C1, you could have residential if it was a two-story, but you can't if it's one-story. But because of the blending already there, but I do have a comment. We have sometimes competing things going on at the same time that are all good. We have a downtown growth plan to create a downtown district that's being done. Part of that goal is to do strict commercial enterprises. I feel sensitive to it because I'm the attorney representing my son and his daughter on War Street, where we have P1 and C1 in two different buildings next door, and it creates a headache for us in terms of that downtown plan. But we have great entrepreneurs that have come in and fill one of those buildings, and we're going to tackle the next one. So it's a similar type thing, but I know that the downtown committee has worked long and hard on establishing and drawing a district that includes the buildings I just referred to that I'm closer to, includes these. I think P1 though makes sense in this case, especially since you have residential in that proximity and behind it. So that was only to point that out. I'm an advocate of, I've seen so much progress on staff and things the city's done to separate this planning commission from political aspects. It's amazing how much, and I like the staff inputs that the idea that Lori has brought with that we're getting added to us. One of the things I told Jeff over a year ago, we also need to balance that with the people that make the rules for us to follow, the city council. And sometimes there seems to be a disconnect of what they want us to abide by, but they don't take the time or effort to change the rules so we can have new rules and guide on. I don't mind following their rules, but this is sort of in between, with the city council being one of the prime sponsors for the downtown site plan. So I don't know why that ran, but it seemed an appropriate time to add it. I'm thrilled that these buildings are being redone. They have needed it for a long time, and I think this is justified in this case.
Do I have a motion?
Is that a motion?
Was that a motion?
I'm trying to let somebody else make it.
Okay.
I'll give a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Now this will have to go to council, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, so we got 2 readings
two
on that.
more council
Yeah.
meetings.
So we're just recommending it to council.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
One more question,
Yes, sir.
how many llamas do you have?
Oh, Lord.
They're alpacas.
Zero, but, yeah, Ben's right, they're alpacas. They're
Alpaca, I'm sorry if I.
That's
used
all
it
right,
wrong.
they're smaller, fuzzier, and cuter.
Do they still spit?
Yeah, they do. Rare,
Oh, okay.
very rare. They, usually we get spat on if we're messing with one of their babies
Oh,
and we irritate them on. Or if we get in the middle of a food fight.
oh.
That's usually when they're spitting at each other, just like first graders who don't like cornbread.
I was thinking toddlers, yeah.
But the number that we have of alpacas is about 65.
65, you're down, aren't you?
Yes, yeah, we at one point, we were up to about, maybe 120 animals.
I didn't mind.
Yeah, we downsized a little bit more for the sake of Sherry and my advancing age. Easier to take care of.
Easier to take
How
care of.
many acres do you have back there?
27.
Okay, because you're like the end of the road, I've only been back there once years ago.
We probably only have about 5 acres that we have them on.
Okay,
As pasture and other people.
I drove back there one time for something, I'm like, whoa. Okay, all good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
See you at city
Thank
council. Mr. Spencer, do you have some comments for us?
Yes, this is not a request for action, it's just to give you a heads up about something. You are aware of the fact that in the past, there has been a request to annex a 175 acre tract on Dry Valley Road. That request has come back to life, and a report has been drafted on that proposition. Next week, on the 11th, in the city council workshop, we'll have copies of that report and discuss it. If they decide that they want to go forward with consideration of that proposition, copies of that report will then be given to each of you. Probably a hard copy given to you by hand. And it will then be on your September agenda. What that means is, in September, you have the potential of being asked to make recommendations on whether or not this annexation should occur, what the zoning should be, and whether or not the plan of service should be approved. All of that means, if the council says, yes, we'd like to think about this and go forward with it, you will have homework to do between the time you get that document and your meeting in September. The document that you will get is not a Reader's Digest version. It's 20-something pages long. There are lots of numbers. Some of them are big numbers. It's an important issue for the city. So, you've been advised.
I was warned. Okay, any more comments? Comments from the board commission? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, motion to adjourn, second. Okay, next item is the Board of Zoning Appeals. Board of Zoning Appeals. Okay. Call the meeting to order, could we get a roll call?
Oh, sorry.
Well, I'm doing ladies on this one.
Debbie Hines,
Here.
Brandon DeVore.
Here.
Kevin Bookout.
Here.
Pam Carey.
Here.
Tim Dixon.
Here.
Tim Henley. Dennis Brennan.
Here.
David Mears.
Jeff Harris sitting in for David Mears.
Clayton Pangle.
Here.
And Scott Wilson.
Here.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the July meeting?
One correction needs to be made.
Okay,
It shows Scott Wilson is present and absent on there.
oh,
Wow.
Scott was absent.
Multi-talented.
I was here, I was gone.
He was quick. Okay.
Just with that.
And
I will correct that.
here.
Yeah, and Dennis, yeah, I guess.
Dennis was not here. You were here at the one we canceled.
I was here the one weekend.
Okay.
So just with those corrections, I'll make a motion with those corrections.
Okay. Motion second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor of the changes? Say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, new business, application 195, variance request to reduce front yard setbacks from 30 feet to 24 feet at 938 Mulberry. Applicant Juan Garcia, property owner Rebecca Tripp, tax map 44. Not sure of the lot. It's C2 in the Huff Edition, C2 Highway Business District.
So I own the building and there is an existing, porch that we just want to enclose. We don't wanna go any further past the porch, to increase the size of my waiting room. I currently can only fit about 4 people, maybe if nobody has a wheelchair or a walker. But if they have that, it cuts it down to about 2. And my goal is to add another provider so that I would need more waiting room space.
Okay, and you are next to Dr. Bowman?
No, I'm next to Cinco Amigos.
It's the old beauty shop.
Oh, the old beauty shop, okay,
Sammy's,
on the
yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and is this the work that's already been done, or is this
No,
additional?
that was the enclosure of
The
the
carport.
carport, which,
This is for the front porch.
this is the front porch, yeah. So that's where patients
Yeah.
enter from there.
Okay.
I'm assuming it was there before and it was grandfathered in, but it's not the correct distance.
Carport and everything looks really good.
Okay.
What they did, yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
looks nice.
It added 2 additional rooms for patients.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion, or do I have any more questions, comments? Anything from the board?
I had the privilege of being there your opening day, I think, some years back.
Yeah.
It's a great location, and I can still hear, so I haven't been a patient yet, but I'm sure that day's coming. I didn't have any problem when I read it. What I looked at though, and this is not, like you said, this was grandfathered in where the porch is, you're not asking for any additional thing. But you look at how close that building is compared to any other building on that street. I never noticed that at all. But the picture that you see there, that definitely shows us up there.
Oh.
I think this is a reasonable request. I can see it accommodating as a convenient area for especially handicapped people to be able to have space to move around in. But I don't see anything wrong with the request at all.
Any comments? No?
No, I mean, it's just an existing problem and, that they want to use it in a better way, but to do it, we need your allowance.
Okay. Do I have a motion from the board, either direction?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll
Make a
say.
motion to approve.
I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor say to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any more public comment?